we're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insight, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Monday, November 24th here in Seoul. I'm Isujin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Ki.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday,
Yay.
and also Haeyoung's with us.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. And both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's Monday, the start of a brand new work week, and for a lot of people, that means gearing up for another busy few days. And speaking of getting through the week, we're at the end of November, which is basically peak exam month here in Korea. So everywhere you go, you see students buried in books, pulling all-nighters, and stressing over test scores. So with all that pressure, it got us thinking, so back in your school days, did you ever see anyone cheat on a test, Ki?
Do I remember my school days? Well, back then, kids who cheat were considered a genius because kids had to come up with various creative ideas to avoid getting caught. Some wrote things on the wooden desk and put the book on it. And some others wrote down on the answers on a small sheet of paper and rolled around the ballpoint pen, inside a ballpoint pen, which is the cover was a semi-transparent plastic. Or wrote on a rubber eraser that had a paper cover around it. So you write on the eraser and then cover it with a paper cover. All creative, but it's a foul movement. It's cheating after all. Another cheating that's never caught by teachers, and this was a bit technical. When you are in a listening test, normally for English or for some other language tests, you naturally mark the answer when you hear the answer. And some clever dudes, I mean, clever as in cheating, not meaning smart or diligent enough to study, would see smart kids moving their arms, right? And then if they saw smart kids marking the answers at a certain point, that means that's highly likely the answer. But again, that's not also fair. So listen to Uncle Ki and study for the exam. Don't cheat.
And I guess that would work because for listening exams, we usually move at the same pace. So I guess that's what they did. Did you ever see any of these kids get caught? And if so, like, how are they kind of punished?
I was one of them. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I did see them. Well, normally what happens is, the test scores get erased. And then you have to stand in the back, and you get F mark on that. But when we were back in those days, kids were scolded by teachers and parents got reported to school and all those jazz. But then, again, don't cheat. Cheating is bad.
Clearly obvious why it's not worth it. What about you, Sam?
Well, honestly, I was never brave enough to cheat. I just thinking about it made my heart race, so I never attempted it. But I do have an example that without even realizing, it technically counted as cheating. In high school in the US, we had monthly reading quizzes at the library, and one day my friends and I were just casually chatting outside, like, which book did you pick? Oh, mine had questions like this and that. And we thought it was like just harmless small talk, but the librarian overheard us and said we were basically sharing test contents. So we didn't get punished, but everyone involved had to read a new book and take the exam again. And I remember feeling a little unfairly treated. But looking back, it really made me rethink what cheating actually includes and how broad that definition can be.
Really quick, did the other students know that it was because of you and your friend?
Yes. We felt really guilty and sorry for them too.
So this is a very big issue, and we're going to dive deeper into this topic. But first, let's take a look at the screen. The rise of AI has made all kinds of tasks from research to writing much easier to accomplish, maybe a little too easy. And when it comes to academic work, schools are in a difficult spot. It's nearly impossible to fully regulate the massive amount of information students can access with just a few clicks. As a result, cheating has become a growing issue on campuses. Today on News Generation, we're taking a closer look at why cheating cases have surged recently, how universities and the public are responding, and what the ultimate solution might be to address AI-related cheating. So as we just saw in the video, AI has completely changed the landscape of academic integrity, making it easier than ever for students to access information, but also harder for schools to keep cheating in check. And we've been hearing more reports of cheating on college campuses lately. So what are some of the incidents that really illustrate how serious this problem has become, Kim?
Sure. Recently, several major universities, that includes Seoul National University, have been hit with a wave of cheating scandals. In one online class where both lectures and exams were conducted remotely, screen analyst software uncovered a surprising pattern. Many students were tilting their cameras, adjusting camera angles, or even using AI tools to look up the answers online in real time. And it even includes some other prestigious universities like Yonsei or Korea University. Korea University, on the other hand, has decided to invalidate the midterm exam results for one of its liberal arts courses this semester. The class taken remotely by 1,400 students was found to have widespread cheating. Students were exchanging answers through KakaoTalk open chat rooms, prompting university to take action. And Yonsei University also reported a major cheating incident in the midterm exam for the course natural language processing and ChatGPT. Are 190 students, nearly 1/3 of the 600 enrolled, were suspected of academic dishonesty. And it just didn't stop there. Even during in-person computer-based exams, because of the course's technical nature, many students were again caught relying on AI to generate their answers. Other university students went a step further, opening a group chats to share some of the answers through open chat rooms during the midterms. So unfortunately, the technology that's supposed to help has now become a destructive weapon in education scene.
Really, those numbers are shocking, and it really shows how quickly cheating methods have evolved and how quickly difficult it is for students to keep up, whether the exam is online or in person. And nearly a third of the class being flagged, that's really not a small issue. So whether it's remote exams or even computer-based tests on campuses, AI tools are slipping through the cracks. So now when we talk about AI being used for cheating, people might wonder, so how are students actually doing this? What kinds of techniques are circulating online, Taeyeon?
Cheating has definitely evolved, and it's getting harder for schools to keep up. If you go on YouTube or TikTok, you'll find all kinds of tips, everything from modifying a scientific calculator to holding a phone at an angle that doesn't get picked up by cameras. And on social media, you will see students talking about how they just screenshot a question and upload it to an AI app and get the answer instantly. And it's especially common in remote or computer-based exams where monitoring isn't as strict. And we are also seeing cases not just in Korea but in other countries as well, where entire groups of students use the same AI-generated answers for the question online test. So basically what makes it so challenging is that the technology evolves faster than the exam system can adapt.
So the methods really have become widespread. Like he mentioned, open chat, and you also mentioned different ways that people are doing this. It's no surprise students are turning to all these methods. It's almost like the barrier to cheating has completely disappeared, and it really puts schools in a tough position. They can't possibly monitor every device, every angle, every tool students are bringing with them. So, but what's driving the surge in AI as a cheating?
Where you're talking the barrier, back in those days, we had set up the bags on the table to prevent cheating. You probably remember. But since COVID pandemic, online classes have surged, and with generative AI tools becoming more common and advanced, using AI to cheat has become a tempting shortcut for students. High reward, low risk, and incredibly easy access. And this isn't just an issue in Korea. Similar cases are happening in China, the United States, Australia, pretty much everywhere. In fact, during China's national college entrance exam, they went as far as shutting down AI services entirely to prevent cheating.
So all of this really highlights how quickly technology has evolved compared to the systems meant to regulate it. And tech isn't the only issue. The environment students are in now makes AI cheating feel almost like a shortcut that's kind of hard to resist. So with AI becoming so accessible, how well are universities actually prepared to stop this, Taeyeon?
I'm not entirely convinced that universities are actually ready for this change. On one hand, students' access to AI is just sky high, but on the other hand, many universities still don't have policies or clear guidelines around AI use. It's not just cheating on the exam anymore. More and more students are using AI in writing essays or doing some other assignments. And in fact, according to one survey, about 92% of college students said they they have actually used AI for schoolwork. Yet, when you look at how universities respond, it's pretty weak. Out of 131 universities surveyed, only 30 have formal AI policies or guidelines. So the gap is a red flag, and it's not just policy. Critics also argue that many institutions still rely on outdated evaluation models that haven't evolved to fairly assess the kinds of skills AI is now helping students with. So yes, universities are trying to catch up, but right now it feels like they are always a step behind.
I mean, 92% is basically like everyone.
Everyone,
So to be
almost
fair,
everyone.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. To be fair, it does put students and colleges in a very tricky spot when almost everyone is using AI, but the rules are vague or non-existent. It's easy to see how confusion or even unintentional misuse can happen, which is kind of what you went through as well.
Yes.
And you're right, this raises bigger questions about whether our evaluation systems have kept up with the times. So we wanted to know what you think too. So we asked on the Arirang News YouTube channel, what would you do if most students were cheating with AI? So let's take a look at what the results showed. So according to the results, 18% of students said they would be willing to cheat using AI, while 73% said they would stick to their principles even if it meant receiving a lower score. Meanwhile, 9% of respondents fell into other categories, reflecting a wide range of attitudes toward AI use in academic settings. So it's clear from the results that a lot of our viewers are very honest people. So, and also to get a first-hand perspective on this, we're going to talk to a PhD student who will tell us what it's actually like to navigate AI in real university settings. And that conversation will come right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today is Kim Young-bin, a PhD student in the US. So hello, thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me here today.
So do you feel that AI-assisted cheating on exams and assignments is becoming more common these days?
Absolutely. I've been working as a TA for over 3 years and handle much of the grading, and I can clearly see that AI-generated work, especially in assignments, has increased a lot. It shows up across many types of classes, from writing courses to the statistics and even coding courses I currently TA for. And for exams, as you mentioned earlier, COVID pushed exams online or take home, which naturally opened the door for AI use. And the classes I TA for still hold exams in person, so I haven't seen AI used during exams, but from what I hear from other TAs, both at my school and other universities, AI-related cheating has definitely become more common in online and take-home exam settings.
Sure. So we've kind of covered this during the first half of the show, but why do you think students are using AI tools to cheat?
I think biggest reason is simply that it is easy and convenient. When I think back to my own undergraduate years, doing assignments or studying for exams meant spending a lot of time searching for information online or even going to the library to look things up. I'm starting to sound like someone from a different generation, but today students can just copy and paste the assignment instructions into an AI and instantly get a full essay or a well-written piece of code. When the answers show up that quickly, many students feel less motivated to actually learn the material or look things up on their own, especially when students are overwhelmed with a lot of assignments and exams during midterms or finals. I can see how the temptation to simply copy whatever AI generates becomes much, much stronger.
I see. Then what kind of measures or policies do you think could help prevent cheating?
Well, I think keeping a traditional approach of assessment, like closed book, closed note, and fully in-person exams is one of the most effective ways to prevent AI-related cheating. In the course I TA for right now, the grade is based on assignments, exams, and participation. And for assignments, students are allowed to use AI as long as they disclose it by attaching the link to their AI conversation to us. So basically, we think transparency is more realistic than trying to ban AI use totally. But for exams, we take a traditional approach, close book, close notes, and fully in person, no AI and no online lookup. So that lets us accurately assess their actual understanding. And honestly, this seems to be a growing trend across many universities for the same reason. And the professor often reminds students that even if using AI helps them on assignments, the exam still counts for 30% of their grade. So they need to study. In many ways, I mean, AI technology is moving forward, but our assessments are returning to older methods. Again, I think this balance is one of the most effective ways to reduce AI cheating and encourage real learning.
So before I let you go real quick, you say you worked as a TA. So what are some ways you can tell that people used AI when they were, doing their assignments?
I mean, I basically I just finalized one big grading test that I had to do. Sometimes it's super like AI always sometimes gives very typical answers. I mean, you can just tell like, oh, this is AI generated answer. And when it comes to coding, we are using R Studio, which is the statistical coding programming program, and you could definitely see this code is AI generated. It's like it's still you can just tell that it is AI generated or not, by just looking at it. But
I see.
yeah, as I just mentioned, people just wanted to just submit whatever AI generates. I think that's the biggest problem because it outweighs their actual motivation to learn something.
I agree. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insight with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me today. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
So we just talked to a PhD student about AI and academic integrity, exploring how common AI-assisted cheating has become, why students turn to it, and what universities might do to address the issue. So what are then Korean universities doing right now to prevent cheating, especially with AI in the mix?
So Kookmin University, one of the schools that's in Seoul, for example, has adapted a system called Monito. So during an online exam, students must show their front upper body through their computer camera and simultaneously display their side profile and desk using their smartphone camera. So basically you have two cameras looking at you, and if they break any of these conditions, the exam screen freezes instantly, and if you try to attempt to open another browser window or launch a messaging app, the test is automatically shut down. So a lot of Korean universities are also trying hard to curb cheating by using specialized software and remote proctoring services, but it's so clear and obvious that catching every case is simply impossible, and that is why many schools are now encouraging students to come forward on their own. In some cases, students who come across and confess can avoid disciplinary action altogether.
I mean, these are all really good methods, but obviously, like you said, software and honesty isn't foolproof.
Right.
So what are some other solutions that are being suggested?
Well, one solution people keep bringing up is actually going backward a little, making exams more analog again, like Youngbin shared in his interview. And the idea is that if students take tests in person without devices or computers, it becomes much harder to rely on AI. And like he said, since COVID, universities have kept remote classes and online exams because they're efficient and convenient. But a lot of experts argue that this convenience is exactly what's fueling AI cheating. And when students are sitting at home with unlimited access to devices, it's almost impossible to control what tools they're using. It's like my cousin's little kitten that sneaks around everywhere without even making a sound like meow, 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 but yet still manages to cause trouble. So the argument is if software can't catch everything, and if we can rely solely on honesty, then maybe we need to rethink the exam environment itself.
Right, there's a lot of things to consider here, but at the end of the day, AI isn't going anywhere, and neither is the need for academic integrity. The goal isn't to stop AI, but to learn how to use it responsibly. It has enormous potential to enhance learning and performance, and it would honestly be short-sighted to not make the most of AI. But doing so requires clear guidance, shared responsibility, and a system that's willing to evolve. And ultimately, that's something the entire education community will need to navigate together. So that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to Ki.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in, and also Seong.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have the best day. We are
News Generation.